I always say on this show that Cloud Run scales up well, but does it?
Well, I wrote an application that scaled from 0 to 60 million requests per month. Let me show you.
Welcome to the show, JK. Please remind everyone what you do.
I'm currently helping out a health tech company and working with two startups helping them scale on GCP. I'm also working on a startup myself with another co-founder and hacking on a bunch of side projects too. It's a busy time.
Yeah, it does sound like it. And your latest app, I heard, got over 60 million requests per month. What does that app do?
That's right. A year ago, I built a feature flag service called RocketFlag. Let's say you're building an online store and you just added a new search feature to it. You think it will be a better user experience and you think your database will be able to handle the extra load, but you can't be sure until you've launched it.
Yeah, big new features are risky.
You can reduce this risk by rolling them out gradually. For example, you could start by exposing just 1% of your users to the new search feature. If that goes well, you can gradually increase it. But if anything goes wrong, you have to roll back instantly with a click of a button, and no new deployments are necessary.
That's a good strategy. But let's be real, JK. 60 million requests for a side project sounds like a dream until the server crashes or the cloud bill gives you a heart attack. How did you handle that kind of scale?
Well, that's where the architecture comes in. I needed to deploy my application in multiple regions, so it would be fast for users everywhere. But I don't have an ops team to handle complex deployments. I needed the extra capacity to handle a lot of traffic, but I don't have a large corporate budget.
And that means serverless?
Yes, it does. I chose Google Cloud Run because it is serverless, and I wrote my application logic in Go because it has a very short cold start time and it's exceptionally fast at this kind of workload.
Okay, so there you are. You've written your application in Go. You deployed it to multiple regions with Cloud Run. What happened when you opened the floodgates?
Well, the application didn't receive millions of requests on day one, thankfully, but rather over time it grew to about 2 million requests a month. Then, after a few new customers onboarded, the service became much busier and grew to 60 million requests just last month. At this point, there was no floodgates left. They were ripped off the hinges and sent far down the river into the sunset.
Well, congratulations, JK. Did you break out the champagne or did you have to scramble to keep the application up?
Thankfully, it was pretty smooth. Cloud Run scaled up automatically to handle the extra traffic. But pretty quickly I noticed that, like anything popular, bad actors will try and get into your system to steal what they can or to wreak a bit of havoc.
Oh no!
They tried to access sensitive files that might be left on traditional server. Cloud Run doesn't expose any of that. But to make sure that no such files were in the Docker image, I used a multi-stage Docker build, copying just the final binary into the Scratch container. After a while, the garbage traffic became annoying though, so it was getting harder to read the logs and find relevant errors.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I put Cloud Armor in front of my application. I wrote a regular expression that describes my valid URLs, and any request that doesn't match those regular expressions is stopped by Cloud Armor and doesn't even reach my application or the logs.
That's a nice, clean solution. Any other hiccups?
Well, for a system to be scalable, every component has to be scalable. Cloud Run scaled up without any problems, but I had designed the system so that my database costs had increased more than I liked.
Oh, how had you designed it?
Well, my customers wanted to know how many times each feature flag had been used. So every time a feature flag was requested, I incremented the counter in Firestore for the application state and also added a record in BigQuery for analytics. Both databases scaled up automatically to handle the load, but I was paying for every write operation.
That sounds expensive. What did you do?
Well, I did what any startup founder would do. I pulled an all-nighter and built a batching system. When a request comes in, the application keeps it in memory. Once per minute, the application performs a single batch write operation to Firestore and a batch load job to BigQuery.
Okay, and how does batching in memory work in Cloud Run when the CPU is only active when it's handling a request?
As I was using Go, I was able to use Go routines that perform tasks at the same time HTTP requests are being served. This worked well for my application as it receives lots of traffic and the CPU is always active. For other applications, though, it may be better to put messages into a pub/sub queue. A worker could then consume these messages and batch write them to the database.
And your batching system worked?
Thankfully, yes. Here you can see the total number of writes to Firestore. And then right before 8 a.m., I deployed the batching system and that slope of the line went almost flat.
I like that slope. And the money you saved. I have some questions for you, JK.
I bet you do. Go ahead, Martin.
First off, we all want to know, what is your cloud bill to handle these 60 million requests per month?
Yeah, I thought that question was coming. Here's my bill for December 2025. You can see that the lack of any Cloud Run bars are from when my application was using the monthly free tier of Cloud Run. That first week, I mostly paid for the networking. Around the 8th of December, I'd used up the free tier and started getting charged for Cloud Run. And those charges are the dark orange parts of the bars.
And what's your total cost?
My total cost was $252 for December. And that's about $180 at the time of this recording.
That's not bad. How does that compare to, say, a traditional server-based system?
Well, I believe it's cheaper when you take in the total cost of ownership. The cost for redundant VMs in multiple regions can add up really quickly, but the biggest saving is not on my cloud bill. My Cloud Run, Firestore, and BigQuery let me operate the application with a team of one, and I spend 0 minutes per month on site reliability engineering. A bit of architecture, designs, and planning is all you need.
Sounds good. And what does your traffic look like?
Well, here's the Cloud Run section of my Cloud Console. And here you can see the deployed RocketFlag services, one per region where my service is deployed. The service in Western Europe is the busiest one right now, which is showing at 26 requests per second.
Very good. Now, Cloud Run has traffic splitting, which also lets you do gradual rollouts. So why not use that?
Well, not everyone uses Cloud Run. And with feature flags, you can turn on and off many features independently of each other. You can also target specific user groups to roll the feature out to before everyone else sees it. So this means that your code can be live in production for weeks or months before it's turned on. And non-technical people can use a separate web interface without needing security access to the Google Cloud Console to make changes easily.
Well, I can tell that you really enjoyed building this, JK. What are your lessons learned from this project so far?
Just like with any other side project, there's lots of things to be learned, but the 3 things that stuck out for me in this particular project was that with Cloud Run, you can launch your idea soon and scale up quickly. Offloading operations allows you to punch way above your weight. A team of one can build, operate an entire application with lots of traffic. You don't have to patch server vulnerabilities, manage uptime, and so forth. It lets you focus on other work like new features or working with clients instead of operating your service. And serverless products like Firestore and BigQuery are affordable if you use them right, but they can be an expensive trap if you don't. As you scale up, you'll notice that things can be optimized, so make sure you keep an eye on your bill.
Yes, we should always keep an eye on our bill. Well, I wish you the best of luck with RocketFlag, JK. Thanks for telling us about it.
Thanks so much for having me, Martin.
And thank you, everyone, for watching. If you have any questions for JK or me, please let us know in the comments. Also, do let me know what you thought of today's episode. I read every single comment. Until next time.